In this video, you're going to learn how to use ElevenLabs to create any voice of any character that you want.
You can sound like Batman who's sailing Gotham City.
Or you can sound like a funny little mouse.
And not only that,
I'll also teach you how to add emotions in all those voices.
emotions like anger, sadness, fear, because what makes a sound human is emotion. And it doesn't matter what you say, but how you say it. Let's get started. So this is what you will see when you first sign up for ElevenLabs account, and let's straight away jump to this section called text to speech. Now when we talk about text to speech, most people think that it's a very simple model that just converts written words to spoken words. But that's not completely true, because this model is a very powerful one that can understand the context, provided you know how to actually write the correct prompts. And that's what I'm going to show you just now. So let's start with a very basic statement like this. So I have not added anything fancy inside this. It's a simple statement, but let's see what's the default generation for this particular statement by ElevenLabs text to speech. So we are going to use the default voice Adam, and I'm not going to touch any of the settings right now here, and I just would press generate speech.
Oh, you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
Okay, let's hear it once more.
Oh, you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
It actually is really plain linear. There is no intonation, there is no cadence, there is no emotion, and it just is like a simple conversion from word to sound, which is what the model is, but we want to get a step further. So here is how we'll start. So first of all, I'll just capitalize this word and these words. What this will do is it will tell the model that you have to really press on these words and say it with a little more emotion. Let's try.
Oh, you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
Little better, Once again.
Oh, you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
Okay, better. Now what I'll do is I'll just add little more question marks here and here, just to tell the model that I want little more emphasis on these particular words and at that point of sentence. Let's generate the speech again.
Oh, you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
That's what I'm talking about. You see, just with little prompting, capitalizing few words and adding some question marks, we were able to go from a very plain text to speech to an emotional sentence. Let's say it once again.
All you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed?
Have you subscribed? No? Do it. Do it now. Okay, so now we will change these parameters for you. Speed is going to be very simple. It's the speed at which the actor would speak our sentences, but stability is what we can experiment with. The more stable the voice is, the more monotonous it would sound like. And the more the slider is to the left, it will create some more emotions, some more variations, and it will be more variable. But here is a catch. You don't want to go beyond 30% because it says that under 30% may lead to instability, and we don't want that. So we'll keep it to at max 30, and similarity is the value that defines how similar is the final voice to the original voice of Adam, which is the default one that we are using right now. So if we just see how it sounds like by default, it sounds like this.
Our distrust is very expensive.
Right. So if I increase the stability, it will sound more like Adam. And if I decrease it and push it to the low end, it will sound further away from Adam, which I don't think is relevant to us right now, because I'm going to tell you how to create custom voices. But here I'm just telling you how this works and what's the meaning of this particular slider. Now, this is where things get interesting. So this slider would enhance and exaggerate the feelings, the emotion that your model is trying to put inside the speech to text. Now here again, the caution is don't go overboard. Like if you go over 50, it will again lead to instability. And I would recommend to play somewhere around 0 to maybe 5 to 7%, because it's like salt. If you put too much, you are going to spoil your whole dish. so that it adds flavor and not completely ruins your dish. So let's regenerate our voice with the style at 5%.
All you guys are just watching and you haven't subscribed.
Okay, too much. You saw, that's what I was talking about. We don't play with this slider a lot. So I'll undo this, and by default, the ElevenLabs is going to give you the ElevenLabs multilingual V2 model, which is the highest quality model that they have right now. And ElevenLabs Flash V2.5 will give you low latency, and this will give you more lifelike, emotionally rich mode. So in our use case, this is what we will want to have, because if we are working with something like voice AI agents, then this makes sense. Otherwise, for generating emotional voices, ElevenLabs multilingual V2 is the one to go for. Now let me give you one more trick on how to create compelling emotional voices from text. If you notice, humans don't speak like in a linear tone. We take pauses, we create tension, and we speak, well, like humans, and even though AI is super smart, we have to tell it specifically where to take a pause. ElevenLabs recommend that we can have something called as break times, and the syntax is this: for natural pauses up to 3 seconds. For example, let's take this example and go back to our studio, and we paste it like that, and we first paste it without the break time. Okay, let's generate the speech.
Hold on. Let me think. All right, I've got it.
Okay, so the model was able to figure out that it needed to take a pause after this comma, but it wasn't able to figure out what to do between this. And if we add our break time right here, let's see how the model responds.
Hold on. Let me think. All right, I've got it.
Exactly. Let's take another example. Okay, so let's generate the speech.
Hold on. Let me think. Have I pressed the like button? Let me press that.
Okay, this is now getting closer and closer to how a human would speak like. And this is exactly what we want. So play around with all these things, play around with uh, the commas, the pauses, the question marks, the capitalization of the text, because the way you write the text would be exactly how the ElevenLab models would read it like. So the simplest way that I can tell you how to deal with this is just imagine you're explaining something to a child and do the same way with any LLM right now. Now, one thing to note is that right now, this is the way that ElevenLabs is recommending us to do, but they're actively working on something called as a director mode. And once that is live, I don't think we'll be needed to do all of this manually. It will be able to figure out everything in context in future. But till then, this is the way. Okay, after text to speech, we are now in the voice changer section. A lot of times we are in a situation where we have a recorded voice, but we want to change it to some other character or some other emotion. The long way is to first convert all that audio to text and then convert that text to audio. The problem with that is sometimes the context is lost and it's really hard to retain all the emotions and the cadence from the original audio in the final one, because there's a step in between where things can lost in conversion. And this is where the voice changer shines bright, because here we can directly input an audio, describe how we want to change it, and then directly get the audio back. Let me give you an example. So this is where we access the voice changer section in ElevenLabs, and let's record an audio. Hi everyone, so I'm recording this video of ElevenLabs to tell all of you how useful a voice changer can be in our lives and what all we can do using this technology by ElevenLabs. Okay, let's hear it once. Hi everyone, so I'm recording this video of ElevenLabs to tell all of you how useful a voice changer can be in our lives and what all we can do using this technology by ElevenLabs. Okay, now let me choose a voice. I have chosen this one because it's kind of mysterious and uh, bassy.
Let me tell you what my grandpa told me when I was just 6 years.
What if I can sound like that? I can do it in one click, and here is how. So I click generate speech, and immediately it will make me sound like this.
Hi everyone. So I'm recording this video of 11 Labs to tell all of you how useful a voice changer can be in our lives and what all we can do using this technology by 11 Labs.
You see, it retained all the small details of how exactly I spoke each word, how much pause I took between specific words, and what the cadence of the voice was. This conversion would have been very hard if we were to go by the usual route. Now let's have some fun. Let me record something else and let me change that sound to something really fun. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Radio YouTube. And I'm your host, Rish, and I'm here to tell you that this is an amazing platform to change your voice to anything you want. Okay, let me have
If you spend your whole life waiting for the storm,
Jessica. Let's see how this will get converted. I'm not sure because I'm a male and this is a female voice, but it would be interesting to see how ElevenLabs handles the situation.
good morning, everybody. Welcome to Radio YouTube. And I'm your host, Rish, and I'm here to tell you that this is an amazing platform to change your voice to anything you want.
See, this is what's all possible using ElevenLabs voice changer technology, and I think it's pretty amazing. You should try it out. And if you're doing that, I would recommend to sign up from the link I'll put in the description because using that, you'll get the best possible discount on all the ElevenLabs plan. Talking about the plans, let's check the pricing of ElevenLabs. So ElevenLabs has a very generous pricing model starting just for free with $0 a month. And in this pack, you have access to all of these things with credits for 10 minutes of high quality text to speech plus 15 minutes of conversational AI. This is usually good for testing, but will very quickly run out of credits if you want to use it for anything that's usable. But that's when the starter plan comes, which is, I think, the cheapest one out there of any AI service. And ElevenLabs being one of the best really surprises me how they're able to pull that off with $5 a month. And in that, you'll get everything you get here, plus commercial license to use your creations commercially, instant voice cloning, 20 projects in studio and dubbing studio. And if you want to have a little more control and a little more quality in your creations, you can have the creator plan with just $11 a month, which will give you professional voice cloning and higher quality audio with 192 kbps. And again, if you want to have more discounts on all of these plans, do sign up with the link that I have given down below. And a lot of ElevenLabs tutorials are in the works. And I'm going to explain you a lot of new things that ElevenLabs has to offer. And if you want to learn all of that, please do like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.